Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg, I am here. Guess who I brought with me?
You got Ulrich.
And
Doctor Surgeon.
so we got Ulrich, Doctor Surgeon, and Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg. And he's still doing the whole small hats thing. Sorry about that.
The times haven't changed.
Yeah, we're basically going to talk about Will Smith and what's like happening right now, you know? We could talk about Donald Trump. We could talk about Kanye West. But you don't want to hear about that right now. You want to hear about this man and the slap that he put down that shocked the world. You know that's what you really want to hear. You don't want to hear about none of that other stuff. I'm having like a wardrobe issue here.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, I'm so vain like that. You know, let me fix my car.
Also, you got that nice new sweater today, man. It looks great on you.
Yeah, you know, I went to red, white, and blue. Where else you gonna go to get good things? You know, this is that, what kind of lamb was that? Alpaca. You know, this is like, if you look real good, look, it's all hairy. It's like about to eat you up right here. Come on. So now, we're gonna see about Will Smith. Go ahead. Ulrich is gonna play that.
All right. Gotcha. And also, Doc, you're looking fresh too with your blazer, man.
Yeah, you're looking good, man. You're looking good,
Right.
man. Ulrich, you're looking pretty good too with your blue collar. It's like, it's like a real denim.
I didn't say
like
that just so y'all would compliment me.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very, very nice. It's very nice. Who makes this?
I don't know, man. Yeah, well, we're figuring out our fashion.
INDIGO. I don't know what that is.
Indigo.
Oh.
I didn't even remember what that was.
All right, don't worry.
I don't even know what indigo. I don't even remember who that's. Okay.
Sure.
One of my best clients' daughter's name is Indigo. Or is it Indigo?
She should go with Indigo.
I don't know. She's grown.
All right.
Whatever it is, it's there.
She do whatever she wants to.
All right. So you ready for me to play this?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right.
In my alpaca, I'm ready.
All right. Let's see.
One of the biggest movie stars that has ever existed. You know, one of my favorite people that I've ever seen inhabit a screen. You know, and then you had the Oscars, where in one night I have no independent recollection of. I can only imagine because you know.
Just allow it to go?
You won your first Oscar that night, a well-deserved Oscar that night. But it is simultaneously, in many ways, not the worst. I won't say the worst because I know the life you've lived. I've read the book.
Yeah, they
but
can
it
hear
is
it.
one of the best days of your life and one of the worst days of your life. And I'd love to know. I mean, just us talking. First of all, what has the journey been like since that day? Like, because everyone speculates, everyone just sees it and goes, I think this, I think that, I think this, I think that. What has it been like for you?
Yeah, that was a horrific night, as you can imagine. There's many nuances and complexities to it, but at the end of the day, I lost it.
Jenna told me to do it.
And I guess what I would say, you just never know what somebody's going through. In the audience right now, you're sitting next to strangers, and somebody's mother died last week, somebody's child is sick, somebody just lost their job. Somebody just found out their spouse cheated. There's all these things, and there's strangers, and you just don't know what's going on with people, And I was going through something that night, and not that justifies my behavior at all. I would just say, you're asking what did I learn, and.
I mean, we're not going to stop it for, too much. But it's just weird that he just mentioned, all these things that happened. He ended off, just found somebody whose spouse cheated or something like that. It was kind of
He didn't add anything else to that.
It just left it there and kind of went on.
I noticed he said the words, Something that I'm trying myself to stop saying so much is the word, It's like the word, I'm saying?
He's really trying to explain something. He's trying to find the words. That might be why.
Well, let's continue. Let's
It's
continue.
that
Fair use. Fair use.
we just gotta be nice to each other, man. You know, it's like, it's hard. And I guess the thing that was most painful for me is I took my heart and made it hard for other people. You know,
Right.
and it's like I understood the idea where they say hurt people.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it's like,
You know, it's interesting. I remember, again, everybody's speculating. One of my friends called me, and we're talking, everyone's got these opinions, and then someone said, I feel like we saw the real Will Smith in that moment, because there's a guy who's so full of love and so positive, but I feel like in that moment we saw the real Will Smith. And I said, and not because I know you, you know, but I said, honestly, I said, no, if anything, I feel like it was the opposite. Like, you know, you talk in your book about growing up so afraid of conflict. You grew up in your book talking about how you were always afraid to fight with, how you were afraid to. For me, it felt like in watching that moment, I felt like you were like, it's like, in a weird way, it's like you stood up for the wrong thing at the wrong time, in a way.
yeah, you know,
Do you know what I'm saying? It felt like you'd taken everything, because here we are, you know, human to human, man to man, but like,
The F?
Nah, this is the
I wish I could find somebody to make excuses for the things I do. The way this grown man made an excuse for a person who's expressing themselves, who's telling you why. You stop them to then make excuses for them. Wait, we gotta continue. We gotta continue.
people have said some shitty things about you and your family.
absolutely.
You know, you're a human being. It felt like, and I would say this to people, I was like, it's becoming relentlessly shitty now.
Yeah.
And people think it's okay.
Yes.
That's the thing. People think it's okay. And not Chris, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people, the internet, etc. But it felt like this was Will Smith for the first time going, okay, is this how you want me to respond or not?
Yeah.
What?
No, it was, you know, it was a lot of things. It was the little boy that watched his father beat up his mother. You know, it's you know, all of that just bubbled up.
Yeah.
In that moment. You know, that's not who I want to be.
Right.
You know, you've known me for a long time, so you know me personally,
Mm-hmm.
so you know. But you know, y'all might not know.
You know,
You know, it's like that's not who I want to be, man. I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to put.
I also think that's not who you are. I'll be honest with you. I think it's not who you are. I think everybody can make a mistake.
Mhm.
And I think in my
Yeah, I think someone had the clap sign had to come on just now.
how I think of living my life.
Now,
As I say,
now I'm crying for real. Okay.
He's wiping tears. That's the second time he wiped his tears. He reached in his pocket and he wiped the tears when he said, hurt people, hurt people. Now I kind of get it. Please tell us. You go first, Doc.
Well, honestly, you know, you said something earlier. The minute we just came on, it was Trevor Noah. My gut knee-jerk reaction was that this is some type of damage control. And the minute you mentioned, and that's what happened with damage control. It's a friendly interview where the interviewer actually going to, you know, give reasons why this might have occurred and why you did it and stuff like that.
So
And
disrespectful
it
to
goes-
journalism.
You know, so
Such a
this
black
was happening.
eye.
So
That word triggered your journalism. He's like, whoa.
and looking at this and watching it, I still don't think that he really have come to how he's going to make it sound the way he wants it to sound. I think he's still trying to find the words. After all this time, it's still kind of like up in the air because I don't think whatever he's trying to say, he doesn't feel like it's going to roll over smoothly. I don't know if there's a real good answer because all these things is to find something that's going to grab hold. The idea of I watch my mom, it's like it doesn't really refer. It doesn't really transfer to, okay, that's what experience, this experience you had. And we all have to remember, right before he was laughing about the thing. He was laughing at the joke. It's almost like it's weird, you know, some type of other thing.
Please.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't even know where to start. After
I want you to
this,
step up
what's
a
it
little
called?
bit, right there, right.
What's it
A
called?
little bit more, one more half a step.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, good. Maybe. All right, this is a good way to start. I can start out with 2 things that both of you said. All right. So, Doc, what you said about him not being ready yet. First of all, that interview was about as raw chicken as I ever seen, like an interview. It didn't even seem like that was an actual interview. That seemed like some low level conversation. It almost felt like they were rushing through things. Like I almost thought that interview was clipped, and that was clips of a bigger interview or something like that.
Right.
Was that? But it seems like that. So that clip was about 4 minutes long. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like they went through about like 7 or 8 topics without asking anything about any questions. And let me talk about what you said about journalism. That wasn't an interview even, because an interview you're supposed to try to garner information.
Right.
Trevor Noah was supposed to ask questions. How do you feel? What motivates you? What exactly was it that Chris Rock said? What were you going through that made you act in that way?
Right.
The fact I don't even know. I'm not even disgusted with Will Smith. He's a broken man. He's not even a person to me. He's an hurt entity. I don't mean it to insult him, but I almost think he doesn't know what he's moving or doing. You know what I'm saying? I think Trevor Noah even.
Wait. How long have you been feeling this way about Will Smith?
Forever. I don't know.
Since getting jiggy with him?
No. All right. Let me be honest.
He love me?
Let me be honest. Maybe I'm being. All right. What I said, I'm being a little disingenuous in a way, because I used to love Will Smith. I used to love the Fresh Prince. Because I'm not being.
Stop. No. You're good. Exactly.
That's fair.
You did love Will Smith.
I don't recall that. I don't know who that person who I love. I'm so separated from it. It feels like it never happened.
You're so separated from Will Smith.
From that either that youth when I knew what I believed him to be when I was that age,
right,
to now. It almost doesn't. The memory almost seems fake because I can't even draw myself to see what I like then.
Great. I'm gonna pause. You're not.
All right, I'll stop.
No, stay right there. Don't back up. Yeah. Doc, did you ever love Will Smith?
As you had this conversation with Ork, I'm thinking about our tendency to like really be infatuated with like an actor and really like him and dislike him. So there are actors that I was interested in seeing their next role and what they were going to play.
Right.
But I have to really honestly say I never care about any like what they do up or down.
When you say they, what do you mean they?
I mean all the folks in that caliber that could maybe garner that type of
response
from people. But
when Will Smith was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, did you watch the show?
I was aware of the show and I watched it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you see the part where he wanted to know why doesn't his father love him?
The episodes?
Yes.
I don't know. I know there was. I recall there was a thing with.
Why don't he love me?
Yeah, the dad was Chicken George from Roots.
Right.
I forgot the actor's name too.
I'm aware of that episode.
You didn't feel nothing when you saw that?
That was a powerful episode.
Yo, I can't watch that episode today. I cannot watch that episode today.
Yeah, that was his best acting performance. Even
something like, we talking about that was. So, but you see, you're different. You were in like the dorms of those times of the year. In the 90s, you were in those dorms, studying to do all this stuff. And then you were like in medical school. And then you were working and going to school for like 6 years or something like that. You didn't have time to go to Will Smith. But you did say you looked out for his movies.
Yeah, there was a handful of actors that.
Yeah. But back then, I remember you used to go see all black movies. I used to just be like, I ain't going. Like, I remember back in the days, I used to be like, what you gonna go see? He said, yeah, we're gonna go see the such and such. You know what I mean? I used to be like, nah.
No, there was like some maybe like Denzel.
Yeah.
And at that time, they were coming out with stuff, and it was like, oh, okay.
All right.
So they were.
But you didn't have an emotional connection to Will Smith. I definitely did. I had a huge emotional connection to Will Smith. wanted to know what he did, what he was doing, interested in his relationship, interested not so much his relationship, but interested in him the person, him the movie, the relationship he had with his son. When he did that movie with his son, that futuristic movie, The Pursuit of Happiness. If you didn't cry watching The Pursuit of Happiness,
another one
we
was,
can't even be friends. If your eyes didn't tear up for The Pursuit of Happiness, we cannot even be friends.
Wait.
That's a fact.
All right, time out. I don't want to be a movie reviewer, but that was nice. Jaden Smith was amazing as an actor in that movie. But honestly, that was like struggle porn, man. That movie.
So you didn't feel it? You didn't feel it?
No, because this mother, it was almost like sometimes
we can't be friends.
Sometimes when you build up to pain,
you like movies.
We can't be friends.
It's just one thing
telling
after.
me that you didn't feel
It's
that
just
movie.
one thing. Yeah, but you can't. You don't build it up when you just feel it one thing after another. It's like, all right, your wife kicked you out. All right, your wife a dope fiend. All right, your wife, you gotta sleep in the bathroom. All right, no one's buying your shit. All right, now you get paint all over you for the internship. All right, now you win. That to me, all right.
Not for nothing, I forgot all those details. for a person who wasn't into it, you know a lot about that.
I got a good memory.
Yeah, let's stop playing that game. Yeah, right.
I got a good memory of movies.
All right.
But you know what? There's a couple of stuff.
Yeah.
See, you like movies, and you like movies that could move in a certain type of way, which is a good thing. The thing about, and you're talking about Will Smith and that particular episode, it's one of those chords that really strikes a reality with a lot of folks. And if you share something kind of like strong, experience that somebody else seems to be sharing for real, there's like, okay, well, how some other things are linking to it. I'm a little bit different in that, I was raised by my dad.
Right.
So it's like a little bit different where it's like, as different with most folks, it wasn't my mom. My mom was down in Florida, so I spent most of my time with my dad to go visit my mom for the summer. Where for most folks it's the other way around, So I mean that might play a part in that, and I guess the whole maybe being connected to the stuff kind of plays a part in that.
Oh, look,
I'll say, so it's like
I'll just respond specifically to that. Look, I never met my dad. I didn't grow up with my dad. But that's not what I didn't like. Even that episode of Will Smith, that was just good acting. That just made me think about my father. But I just liked him because he was a cool guy. He got a lot of girls. The Will Smith, the act, like when you're a kid, he was the coolest kid around. Right. He would just roast people all the time. He was like he's a cool, hip-looking kid.
And it changed for you at some point, though.
Yeah,
it changed.
At some point it was just and even his rap was. I thought his rap was. I never thought his rap was corny. I wasn't one of those guys.
He was a good storyteller.
I never thought safe rap was corny. That's only for dummies. The only dummies just they don't hear a curse and all of a sudden they don't. Oh, this is corny.
I've actually bought every single Will Smith project. Spent money on. I didn't buy his latest book. The book that he did. And that whole thing with him running around to Dubai and climbing up like towers and having like this documentary series.
Yeah, like he's just living his best life, or he's just like doing all the things he always wanted to do.
Really turned off with that. It was something about that seemed so staged. Yeah. Why are we pedestalizing this man? Then I started to really think about like, what is Will Smith doing for the young creative? For the young comic, the young rapper. I know with his son, I purchased he had an album called Icon.
You got a Jaden Smith album?
Fire album. Album was fire. Jaden Smith's album was fire. And then of course, for my kids, they would play that song. I whip my head back and forth. So that was a good kid song. I want my kids to be around good music. But it was right around that time where he started to get pedestalized in a very interesting way. And then the relationship with the wife is what turned me off completely to this man, this alpha man. And when they were interviewing him, he kept talking about how vulnerable he was, about the beatings that he witnessed, that his mom took. And all of this shit turned me off to this man. like you have no idea. You know, the things that you saw as a child makes you stronger as a man.
Oh, when he used it as an excuse.
Yeah.
That's what child support.
And then they just did it again. He did it again. That hurt people. Listen, man, you are out of control if you can't control your emotions. You see?
That's the difference.
I'm kind of glad we're talking about this right now because I had some opinions about this throughout the last years that it's like really coming back. And I
Tell
think,
us about it.
yeah, man, it's like, boy, let me step in the middle. You come over here, let me move over here.
I was completely uncomfortable there. It was hard to understand.
I'm gonna be looking right here at the people, and let me just say this: Big Elvis and Chef Rosenberg, I'm here, and I got Ulrich and I got the Doc here, and I'm here to tell you that Will Smith smacking this man on that stage. We all know who the man is. I'm not gonna even mention his name. I don't even need the algorithm in our business like that. But this was a direct attack against the black man like you have no freaking belief. What this showed you is that no matter how far you come in your life, no matter if you go up to Dubai's highest freaking tower, climb that tower, you got an assistant that has an assistant that has an assistant, you're worth millions of dollars. You've been around the whole world. You done lost all this weight in front of the world. You done played Ali. You did so much. But at the end of the day, you're still just an N-word. You know why? Because you can't trust them. Because no matter what you show them, no matter where you take them, they are liable to flip out any moment. You just never know when it's going to happen. A black man, go ahead and befriend a black man if you want. Go ahead and take a black man all around the world. Go ahead and show a black man money. Go ahead and show a black man wealth. Go ahead and show a black man all the riches and the spoils of the world, and he will be able to just in a split second lose his cool and take your ass out.
Man, time out. You assuming that was his decision? That slap he did was that was the least his choice of anything. I don't think Will Smith has the aggression in him to flip out spontaneously.
First of all,
But that's the point.
The thing is,
that's the point. If he was the puppet, I'm saying he's the puppet. And there's a puppet master that picked this man up and walked his ass over there and did what the so-called slap. Maybe it wasn't even real. All I'm saying is that it represents into the average person that sees you, that sees me. You're a fucking doctor. That don't mean shit. You might still lose your cool. You might still punch somebody in the face. You might still lose your temper. No matter what. He, to me, has tarnished the black man's image when it was like, this is Will Smith. What other man has not traveled the world? I mean, this man, he has gotten his dick sucked by the most amazing bitches in the world. He has gone into rooms we could never get into, boardrooms, sex rooms, all kind of different things. But yet, he's still a nigga at the end of the day. That's how I'm just saying. It really bothers me, but I think it's taken away from the black man's image. If Will Smith is gonna lose his cool, why would they trust you, Ulrich? Why would they trust you, Doc? Why? Why would they trust me?
But wait, at
any moment we flip out.
Yeah, but he did. But Will Smith's not looked at as belligerent in this. He's looked at as he was running because he didn't want his wife to be angry about him. I don't think they look at Will Smith made the image of a black man look all like belligerent and angry. Will Smith angry. That was about the Will Smith's the least. I don't think Will Smith can move the image of a black man because I don't even know if the black.
You don't
man
think
really,
Will Smith can move the image of a black man?
No, I don't think. I think what.
Oh, sir.
Because all right, look at how Will Smith. All right. Think about if another black actor had got up and slapped Chris Rock. First of all, it wouldn't have been as theatrical. It would have been frightening. It would have been scary. Think about just anybody else besides Will Smith. Will Smith smacked him, and to me, it looked like a studio actor slap.
Right.
I think I don't even know who seems tough in this day or something like that. Maybe I think about I think even if Idris Elba, I'm thinking of another act. I'm thinking about somebody in his bracket. I think it would have been more intimidating if he went up and slapped somebody. I think
I agree with that.
I think Will Smith, especially in his new
But
iteration.
you're making my point.
No, I think Will Smith is more in this iteration of Will Smith, because it's not the Will Smith I knew on Fresh Prince. This iteration of Will Smith is influential to white people, not black people. So I think what he did here has no influence on how people look at black people. Because I don't think Will Smith is. I barely even think he's looked at as somebody for he's almost. I hate to say this word, but almost transcended his blackness. I don't think he's seen like that in Hollywood.
See,
You're making my point.
This is the only. I disagree with Elvis, but.
I do too, but apparently not to him.
But interestingly enough, that's the only piece that makes his point. Is the fact that Will Smith has gotten to that point where they don't see most folks. I mean, most folks don't see the individual you. They see a lot of these folks that's picked because of their talent, and they represent the group. So he had a very polished image. And he kind of like did that, supposedly. And most folks are not tuned into the situation that like we are tuned into it. Exactly. So when they see it, they just see this black person like, oh, I thought he was a real cool guy. Oh, wow, he did that,
Sounds like you're agreeing with me too, sir.
But I'm not. Because the thing is, it's way more than that. It is what's portrayed. We are assuming that refers to black folks. But any of you will flip out.
Who's any? Oh, man.
Men in general.
Yes.
It's not the black man.
Wait, if somebody like made a joke about that girl, somebody made a joke about that girl,
man, period could flip out.
Good point.
And the thing
that's totally fair. Oh yes. So they've been attacking the white man a long time, feminizing him way before the black man got feminized.
And we're talking about violence and stuff like that. If we really going to go, who have the history of violence amongst us? Amongst men. If we could say somebody react in a barbaric way towards each other, who have the longest history of that? So not after, 50 or 100 years after these guys picked that up, after watching, mafia movies and stuff like that, and all of a sudden now they run around the street and shoot each other. Now we're saying they're the standards of violence. They're not. They're babies in the violence.
All right. Like Troy Terrain always says, the drive-by was created in Chicago, and it wasn't the black man that was doing it. It was the white man running around doing all the drive-by.
And those things are very true. So when we look at, these folks that we're saying is...
So you're saying this is a man, this is Will Smith...
I agree with you.
He blemished the idea of a good guy.
Right.
So it's not necessarily the black man who's capable of anything.
But he didn't fully blemish it. He didn't fully blemish it because I guess if you're just looking at the masses, he's kind of looked at for protecting his girl, just not in the correct way.
See, that's the narrative. You're following the narrative.
Right. I'm not following the narrative. I think the narrative speaks for him not being intimidating. The narrative doesn't speak for him. The narrative speaks for either on one side it's him being punked by his girl, or on the other side him defending her. I don't think there's maybe I'm not because I'm not as tuned in.
Well, the joke was good. His wife didn't get punked. It was a great joke.
Yeah, it wasn't even that great. G.I. Jane. That's not even. There wasn't even a.
Who even? You have to be 45 years old to even know what G.I. Jane is. Come on. Right. Well,
and he's not defending her. He's defending people with alopecia. He's not even defending his wife.
Yeah. Great argument. I appreciate that argument. I can see where you're coming from. It's the attack of the man.
Exactly.
I looked at it as the attack of the black man who, no matter where you show him, no matter no matter how refined you make this black man, he's liable to snap at any moment. Your argument is just that he showed that the man will respond at any moment, and your argument is just that the space that we're in is like opened for like bitch assness at all times, or like tell me what you mean.
My argument for what argument this I think your point you were making is that the black man needs to be put in his place, and Will Smith is kind of an effigy or something, or representation or something, or like a public sacrifice, and to public his reputation to show where the black man's place in America. So he has got punished in a way. I guess he's not allowed to go to the Oscars. That doesn't mean he's not even allowed to get nominated. So that's not even real. So So they did. So we saw him get a public lashing. But so you're saying from the people who control him, because we all agree to some extent that he's a puppet of some sort, right?
Oh my! I was even thinking I would go as far as MK Ultra.
No, I'm not talking about. No, I'm not talking about not controlling like in his brain. I mean like controlling. They say if you still want to get these gigs, if you still love like incentivize them in a way. That's how you control. It's not that's how you control rich people. You take away their opportunities, and you take away that. But what I'm saying is how it's fed to the public. I don't feel like Will Smith's blackness, because I don't think people are viewing it as a black thing. Like, look at this black man falling from grace. Like, look at him. You see, no black man can ever be on top, no matter for how long. I think the louder narrative is that he either protect his girl or he got bitched in the name of his girl. I think those are the two competing narratives. I think what you're saying is maybe a bigger thing. I think people won't see that. I feel like only. Not even us three, maybe only y'all two would see that.
Everything is done incrementally.
But y'all two see. I feel like I feel like that is some deeper, higher level shit. That's what. So I do understand that's on a level as far as how they're trying to control the populace or something like that. I can see how you say it, but how it's been fed to the public, I don't think it's that. I think you need special eyes to see what you're trying to say. I think what's being fed to him is just this narrative. Should Will have stood up for his girl, or is it wrong that he did? Does that make sense?
I mean, the thing is, this serves so many different purposes, and it's different at what level of understanding that you're at, and it's going to feed you something. And most of it is kind of like nonsense, For example, what you brought up initially about this black person being dangerous. But that narrative been out there for years.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I agree.
I mean, that thing is like from the 80s is we got to be afraid of all black folks because they might liable to do something. So that thing is entrenched in society already. So they don't need to do anything to further that agenda along.
That's why.
That's so.
Maybe we need to continue it. Maybe we need to continue it.
So and the thing is, it served that to the eyes that needed it enough. It served that to reinforce that. But I think most folks if they had that in them, or if they were going to have that, it's already set in place. And then not only that, it's also set in place in the actual people that we're saying that we don't want to be, viewed that way. Because you have the average person, accountant, and so on and so forth, and if he's a person of color, he wants everybody to think that, hey, look, I'm not going to punch you in your face if you do something weird.
You bridged my point.
All of them give that, most folks of color give that bit of, hey, listen, I'm liable to get at you if you don't talk to me slick. So in other words, kind of want to give that tough guy imagery, basically, So that piece of it is kind of like there also. Now, when we talk about what these folks are saying, what they're thinking on a different level, is it because he was protecting his girl or because of lack of protecting his girl? So you have those two competing narratives, but a lot of folks who's maybe aware of it is familiar with the relationship that's developing between him and her and the things that she's been doing, which is completely emasculine. And right now we understand, at least, your audience, the audience here, and a lot of folks will recognize there's a real strong attack on masculinity. And that served that purpose too. So it's doing a lot of different little things, depending, where you're at.
I agree with I agree with everything you said, but that's what the point I try to make recently. I think Will Smith has not been fed as black enough for the black community, for him to even be a sacrifice, to him to be a show of sacrifice to the black community. I feel like whatever Will Smith, what the black community love as a Fresh Prince, has been castrated to the point where they don't need to make a public show on this. We're slamming him because he's no longer a hero to black people. I don't believe so.
Yeah, that's how we started the show.
We
started the show because we started the show whether or not at what point did you stop believing in Will Smith? What point did he no longer speak for you? See, my thing is, Will Smith is no longer your hero. He's no longer someone you look up to. We don't care. We don't want to watch Will Smith buy sneakers. We don't. We'll watch Fat Joe buy sneakers. That's more believable. We don't want to see Will Smith. So what I'm saying is just that because he's put himself in such a mainstream, non-black world, they had to put him down. They had to put him down. So now, if you're that person who has that black boy living in your pool house, be careful.
Well, Will Smith's a good. I was gonna say Will Smith. Will Smith does what he said. Will Smith does what he said. Will Smith is not even controversial enough for him to get put down to this place. He's not even. He doesn't even bring black white people together. Because like us, whatever tether he would have had to back with, I think he's all the way down. That's why he's like the highest. Or what, top 3 highest selling actresses ever, not just among black people. Everybody loves Will Smith.
See, Will Smith. He's one of the first actors that became. He was never a black actor. Idris Elba is more of a black actor than Will Smith could ever be. Will Smith is the one who changed that. Like if Will Smith was directing, they would never say black director Will Smith the way they did with all the previous directors. Will Smith became too mainstream.
Actually, no, I can make my analogy better. It would have mattered more if Tupac died, if like Tupac lived into the 2000s and he was in mainstream movies. So it would have meant like that Tupac's died hurt a lot because Tupac still was a big figure. Tupac was still almost mystical. Yeah. Will Smith was so whittled down that it doesn't even like if Tupac now, if something like this happened to Tupac now, if this happened to maybe Tupac he would slap somebody in the hip hop awards, not even the Oscars or something like that. Remember when Tupac was I don't know if you were like Tupac and stuff.
Yeah, I was all involved. I was entrenched.
Remember how belligerent he was, and it was like the biggest news and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, but Will Smith does that.
That was at the time when any black youth was an issue, was a problem, especially if they had a voice and was talking.
Right.
And Will Smith though has a voice among black youth.
Yeah, but he doesn't really represent the culture that way.
Yeah, he doesn't represent the culture, and I think if this wasn't about Will Smith, this was about the effects that the person who's going to help the next black person is going to take a little split second and go, maybe I won't. Maybe.
Possibly.
I won't. Maybe I won't try to take on a project of this next young man coming up.
He's done everything he was told. Why hurt him? Will Smith did everything he was told.
Even though
in my perspective,
it looked very MK Ultra. The guy went from smiling to casually walking with a glossy look in his face. It didn't even appear like it was a real slap. It looked like a Hollywood slap where you stomped on the floor.
That's what I thought it was fake.
It appeared to be fake, but it just was one of those things. And then he's yelling out, "Keep my wife's effing name."
But that's what made me. All right, just to mention that's what made me think it was fake because he had to let the crowd know that I'm angry. That's all that did. After he slapped him, that wasn't clear enough. But he decided to yell, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." That made him know he was really angry because once he got up and slapped him, it could have been a skit. But that made him.
Well, let's also remember this. This was released onto public national television with a 5-second delay.
How about that? I'll tell you what.
With a 5-second delay, they still released all that shit.
The slap of it. It was so perfect. It was a perfect slap. It wasn't even obvious.
Yeah, but he cursed twice.
This is the funny thing. We have the delay, and one thing I know for a fact that always rings true to me: I never trust an actor, and he's a hell of an actor.
That's actually good. I agree.
Believe that.
That's beautiful. That's a good thing.
Believe me.
That's a fact. Okay, let's go up. T-Rilla. Evening, fellas. What's up, brother? This interview with Trevor is an image repair tour.
Nice.
Yeah. So see Fields, let it out. Oh, that's when I went off. The G.I. Jane spoke. The G.I. Jane joke was spot on, though. Exactly. Old Dog says something inappropriate. Old Dog says, well said, Tupac never did this. Pete Crepes TV, I still don't believe the slap is real. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
You know, we know what happens to a person when they get slapped. And that wasn't very believable. But you guys know we're not monetized yet, right? So what that means is this great, amazing thing. Did I tell you guys about this thing that's so amazing? It's called the value for value system. If you've gotten any value out of this, what I need you to do is hit the Cash App and hit the Venmo. The Cash App is $ ElvisRosenberg, one word, and the Venmo is at Elvis-Rosenberg. Express yourself. This is value for value. We are here every week putting it down for you. YouTube is not giving us a dime. We need you, the people. Value for value, y'all. And I need you to share this with a friend. Say,
Please.
check out these two guys here. We got an educator over here. We have an MD over here. And then we got me, Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg. And I'm here. And I need you. And I love you. And you know that's true.